First tonight, when you think of gourmet ice cream, a few iconic brands come to mind. Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, and many of those brands have dominated for years. But there is a new kid on the freezer shelves in Maine.
Big Gay Ice Cream is elbowing the big guys out of the way, and no one is more surprised by this than Doug Quint. He is half of the team who launched Big Gay Ice Cream. Quint, who is originally from Pittsfield, Maine, has found himself to be a bit of an accidental ice cream entrepreneur. We caught up with him on a warm day, a perfect day for, of course, eating ice cream. All right, now I can try my Dorothy.
I don't care. The cameras are on.
Cameras
eat
are rolling.
Eat all you want. But please, please take a moment to look at the tamper seal. We're very, very proud of these tamper seals. It's a huge, long pattern and it stamps it irregularly, so I don't know if any of them ever repeat.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So these are sort of collector's items. They're one of a kind. Look at that. So when you were growing up in Pittsfield, was it your dream to become an ice cream mogul?
No, get real. I became a professional bassoon player. Ice cream just kind of came along and took over.
Tell me how that started, because I know you started with an ice cream truck.
In 2009, I had this idea, and I thought, I want to do something in New York, and I want it to be a weird job, because I don't want to just work at a bookstore or work a counter job or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started watching Craigslist for weird things to do. A friend of mine had she had been driving an ice cream truck part-time, and she put up a post on Facebook that said, if anyone wants to drive an ice cream truck this summer, get in touch with me. And I thought, well, that's as screwed up as it can be.
So you had no ice cream experience, really. And were you making the ice cream that you were selling out of the truck, or was that more of a traditional?
It was soft serve.
Okay.
It's a soft serve truck, so it's vanilla and chocolate.
Got it.
Man, that's good.
Not good. You do good work.
Yeah, I know.
Really good work. Clearly.
Geez, that's the most ice cream I've eaten in a while. We started dressing it up because ice cream truck menus are the same stuff
everywhere
since 1950.
Right.
So we had some ideas, and people started talking about our wacky toppings, but generally, or wacky flavors. And generally, we didn't think anything that we did was terribly wacky. It was just not typical.
Not traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, amazingly, caught fire with you, and you decided this was something you wanted to stay with?
The first year was successful. Then the second year, things got really big. We ended up on Rachel Ray. And that was when it kind of hit the fan.
Yeah.
Because I taped Rachel Ray in August, and when it aired, like end of September, I parked, I got ready to serve, I opened the window, and the first person said, saw y'all on Rachel Ray this morning. And it was like every person who was getting dressed in their hotel room that morning saw Rachel Ray and decided to come down. It turned into a marathon. Every single day was non-stop 9 hours of making ice cream, no bathroom break, no nothing. And we decided, it's time to get a store. So we rented this little teeny juice bar that to us seemed like it seemed like a giant Kmart. It was so small, but it was so much bigger than the truck had been.
Right.
Yeah, so then we had the first store, now we have one in the West Village, now we have one in Philly. And then last year these things started up, which is lunacy.
This came out and came to Maine, which is like a little bit like coming full circle for you.
Blew my mind, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the creativity that goes into your naming them, your combinations, your toppings. That's what you're known for.
Well,
and I'm going to
keep eating. Well, I mean, everyone here they all have different stories. It's sort of like we adopted kids from different families, and now it's all blended. Yeah, I don't know, sort of. Dorothy,
which is what I'm having, right? Yes.
Yeah, she began her life as B. Arthur, but when we went to Pints, we had to change it to something public domain. And the idea of Dorothy being Dorothy's Bornak, her character's name on Golden Girls.
Right.
Dorothy from The Sound of Music. And also there's old lingo, Mattachine 40s era lingo for are you gay, saying, are you a friend of Dorothy? So that's where Dorothy came from. So this is birthday cake. It's a yellow cake with fudge frosting swirled into it.
Gosh, that is so good.
This one on my clock is so sweet. This is really for cookie dough eaters.
Wow, it is. The idea of the overarching name of Big Gay Ice Cream, how did that come about?
I wanted to start a Facebook group just so people could watch the whole thing evolve and happen. we didn't have any idea what we would call the truck, and the website, the Facebook group, we just called Big Gay Ice Cream Truck, just as a placeholder. And a couple thousand people joined it, and we thought, okay, well,
That's it.
I guess that's our name. And it was all part of the spirit of just, we were going to do it for one summer, and if it blew up in our face, you know,
Nothing
we would have
ventured,
done it our
nothing
way.
gained, right.
It was going to be our way or no way, and we never expected. I mean, just come on. On the way up here, I left in the afternoon, and I kept driving, and finally we hit Augusta, and I said to the dog, okay, I got to go in. And I went into the Shaw's in Augusta, and I was standing. I saw the freezers, and I walked up close to the freezer aisle, and I said, okay, I'm gonna walk down the freezer aisle and find it. And I looked, and it was in the very corner right there, and it was like, oh, what? I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for this prime placement. I wasn't ready to see it yet. And I stared at it, and then I went out, and the only car in the parking lot, because it was like 5 to 10, was mine, and the dog was looking at me. And I swear to God, the dog was looking at me like, so is it there or what?
Can we get out of here now?
Yeah, he was looking at me like, so is this, BS? The pints are from, well, they're from like whatever's farther north, Bangor, Dover, Foxcroft. I think they're pretty much parallel.
Yeah.
But from those two shops down to Virginia.
Wow.
So most of the Atlantic seaboard, and they'll be in Florida soon enough, but we made it into this chain called Wawa, which is the sort of Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania equivalent of Cumberland Farms.
Oh, okay.
Like 600 of those.
Right.
So
Wow.
things went really crazy this year, and it was so gratifying to have the pints appearing outside of New York City, and for the feedback on social media to be, first of all, people saying, "Oh, we've always heard about you, and now you're in our store." That like, I can't get my head around that.
What is it about eating ice cream that you think is such a universal thing and
It's the
experience?
happiest food. I think from the moment you have it the first time, I've watched all sorts of babies have their first bite, and the baby will open its mouth and the spoon goes in, and the baby always shivers and shakes, and then as soon as it warms up, their mouth pops open for more. And I just think that that's how ice cream starts in your life, and it ought to continue that way forever. It should be the happiest food.
How many of those pints did you consume?
I'm not telling.
You were just chowing the whole time, and that's not like you.
It was a beautiful day for eating ice cream, and I took advantage of it. And I didn't share. I know you're going to say that.
Yeah,
Okay.
none of that was brought back to the newsroom.
It was too hot. It was all melted. Big Gay ice cream is now available in pints on the shelves at many Shaw's in Maine, but you got to travel to New York City to experience the shop. There is no shortage of creative names, including American Globs, which involves pretzels, and Salty Pimp, one of their best-selling combos. Doug and his partner Brian Petroff have also authored the Big Gay ice cream book, which includes recipes for making ice cream, and their latest experiment is Cheeto-flavored ice cream, which he claims most people are surprised at how much they actually like it.
Surprised indeed.